Today looks like another day we'll be able to take advantage of some good painting weather, I hope. We're going to find out very soon. But tonight we have to work around the fact that tonight is Miles's concert at school, so time will be limited. I'll see how much of this little project I can get done. Now, I always try to think of things like this. This set of parts is ready to be buffed out. It's been drying a couple of weeks, in fact, so this is pretty much ready to buff out. But what I wanted to do, when I get set up to buff parts, I want to buff the two parts I painted yesterday, and they'll be drying a couple of days extra. And so in the meantime, I can work on Mark's project. Hopefully today get the parts of the stripe on, the blue parts, because what I want to do with the blue, I want to set up to do everything. I have a seat to work on. I can do the blue. See, this is what I try to do ahead of time, is figure out how I want to do this. The blue on this seat, and the blue stripe on this part, and we have patterns for all this, so it should go relatively quickly anyway. I guess we're going to find out. So I wanted to lay this out in a realistic way. This is the stripe that I pulled off of here. I want to recreate this stripe, and I'll do that pretty much off camera because it's just a redundant thing. And then my goal is I can shoot the red, but then I'll put this outside to dry, because in an hour or so this will be dry. I could backmask this and shoot the blue. The goal today is to get the blue shot. That I can I'm just trying to minimize the amount of time I have to backmask parts. Now, luckily, most of the stripes on this project are standard sizes. They're not some kind of just about almost standard or metric or something. It seems like when they laid this out, and now that's going to be that stripe right there, and I just need to backmask the rest. Okay, the next step, now that it's all backmasked, I can just take this quickly outside, shoot that red, and I'll leave it outside to dry. It's nice and warm outside. That'll dry up, and an hour from now I can backmask that out, 2 hours even, because we're going to work on the other parts. Can backmask that because my real goal is to get the blue painted today. So sometimes just laying this out, the layout can be very efficient or very inefficient, depending on how you do it. Okay, in this heat, and it's really getting warm already. Now, because of Miles's concert tonight, I wanted to get a really nice early start on this. Well, Karen's garden is just coming out so nice. Every time I'm out here, I have to admire the garden. Look, we even have roses where we're painting. That's unbelievable. Anyway, that's going to dry. We move on to the next part. Now on these two parts, again, because this is a tape stripe, see how that tape is on there? So for me, the easiest thing is going to be, it's the path of least resistance, is to clean the whole part up. I'll sand it all with 1000 grit, clean it with simple green, and then backmask everything except the blue. I just want to paint the blue. Same with this one. I don't want to destroy this. I just want to get this painted. Here's the new decal for this part. I would like to just clean this up so we can salvage this, but I do want to paint the blue. And man, I'm looking at this. Yeah, because the stripe is missing, I'm going to have to repaint it. But it's not a big deal. This is the kind of thing that you got to make a decision after you look at the part of how many does it need body work. See, this needs that part sanded down. So it's going to require a little more work than I originally thought, but well, we have the little part to match it to that'll make it a little bit easier anyway. Now, in looking through my notes that I took for this job, I'm not sure Mark wants to paint that second seat. I'm going to have to call him, but I can work on this while I'm waiting for him to return my call. I'm not sure what the issue was. See, what I'm trying to do is radius off that corner, and I guess in the meantime I can just paint the top blue, because I saw in my notes that it says just use it for a stripe reference on this part, which of course I'll do. But we're going to get this corner straightened out. Boy, it's so warm out there. This stuff is going to dry right up. We should be able to get quite a bit done today. Now, anytime you break through the paint, see, like we've broken through the paint here, and we're down into the plastic. This is a great trick. A little bit of thin CA, just a drop is all you need. let it surround that part for even a second. Wipe whatever drips off. It doesn't matter what drips off. What matters is it's gotten under the edge, it's capillary, and it's sealed that up. So now, once this dries, and it's dry already, take a fresh piece of sandpaper, in this case 600. And it's good to do it as soon as possible because the sanding dust will actually get down under that corner, and 90% of the time it'll seal that up to the point where that paint doesn't have a tendency to lift. And I'm sanding this dry now just because I want to pick up any little flaws that are still in here. And I see in the white already there's some big giant runs, but it's in a part of the bike that you don't even see, so I'm not even going to worry about that. But you are going to see this. This is a focal point. And I've tried to clean this area where the lock is up as much as possible. The corner. I'm ready to backmask this and see if I can get that blue to lay down real nice, and then I'll be putting that one out in the sun to dry to move on to the next part. Okay, we're pretty much ready on that. That'll be ready to spray the blue, and then I'll leave it outside in that. It's getting up around 90 degrees today, so that'll cook that real quick. And usually it's an hour to 2 hours before you can put tape on it. A day like today, probably 45 minutes, but we have plenty of little parts to work on, so there's no rush on this. So I took a quick coffee break. I called Mark about the other seat, and it's a good thing I called him because I was correct in my notes. He just wants to keep that little, I call this a seat, the tail section, for a pattern only. So we're good to go on this. The other one doesn't get any attention other than just that we're going to put the stripe on this and position the decal before we put the clear. So it was worth that. You gotta stop and check the notes when you're as old as me. Okay, two of the little parts ready there and just cooking away. Now the objective here is I'm going to run a piece of tape right across the whole fairing here. Put some lines on it where the various stripes start. Then I'm going to do the same thing at the back. And then I'm going to line up those stripes. And luckily these are all pretty standard sizes. And we have all the tape already in rolls that size. But the idea at the end of it, even though I'm going to backmask off the whole thing, I only want to expose the blue. I want to get the blue painted first. And you can see what I've done. The white, red. I'll do the same thing for the back. Mark exactly where it starts here. And then just transpose that piece of tape out onto the fairing. And we'll have from that, then we'll have our layout for where the stripe's going to be on this part. Now I do remember in the very beginning of this job, we had Mark was here and we were laying this out and we went back and forth, thinking that, well, here's the blue stripe anyway. I use this for the pattern. It's exactly the right thickness. So that now is the blue stripe. We know that's not going to be a problem. We have the same blue stripe here, except for one little issue. I think, but I'm not sure, that this decal sits up just a little bit higher. So I've moved this stripe up. You can see the thickness, about 1/8 of an inch. I just didn't want to take a chance that it wouldn't look right from far away with that. So sometimes it could be that when Mark put the decals on, this might have been down 1/8 of an inch. It's the thickness of the tape off, but I'm sure you're not going to see it. Now, where the real saving in this is going to be is because we've made patterns for everything. So now it's just a question of laying out the patterns, turning them over on the other side, laying out the bars, and then cutting the tape appropriately. But this worked out really, really well. And it saved us by doing the patterns on the first piece, because we've done, I think, 3 of these already. Each one we do, we just get a little bit better at it. Now, thanks to these patterns, we've got this pretty much a mirror image of exactly what we want. Now the difficult part on this is going to be I have to take a brand new razor, and I have all the dimensions written down on a piece of paper. Make sure I'll double check that I'm right. Once I know I'm right, all of these corners and edges have to be peeled up so that the white stripe now, everything except the white stripe is going to be backmasked when I do the red, but everything gets backmasked while I do the blue. And I want to do the blue first while we have this wonderful painting day. That blue should dry up very quickly and I can flip the backmasking. I always like to share this little trick when you're doing this kind of complex backmasking. The tin foil, and of course we always credit the late Walt Prey for sharing that with us. And this leaves a nice impression in the tin foil, which allows me to look in and make sure I have it right, and I do. And it just allows me to make a pattern bend this around. Now, to cut that pattern out would be a relatively complex thing, but now it's not. It's pretty straightforward, in fact. In fact, to show you how cool this is, I can do this. I should have actually cut it back just a little bit more. I was thinking of that scoop. I need to get inside. Not on this one, on painting the red, I need to get inside. But anyway, I could have cut that down just a little bit. What I want to have just what's blue. I want to get out there, get this blue drying, because in this temperature we're taking advantage of a very warm day here. That's ready, that's pretty much ready to shoot the blue. Now what this is allowing me to do is I'm going to bounce now from part to part. I normally wouldn't be doing this in one day. I would be waiting overnight because because we have such a great painting day and it's so nice and warm, I want to take full advantage of it. So the next step on this is going to be, as I've worked on these two parts, a couple hours later, this is already dry. I can backmask this in a way that I can expose the blue, and all of the blue will be drying out here before I have time for lunch. And so I've gotten three things done, one right after another in sequence, that allows me to just jump to the next step. And this will just be a question of removing that backmasking and backmasking over the red. Now, a really good trick when backmasking over fresh paint, it's not dry overnight. I rub the tape up on a clean t-shirt 1 or 2 times just to get the stickiness out of it. I don't want to take any chance I'm going to pull that paint up if it isn't totally dry. Now, no matter what kind of masking tape you wind up using, this is, take a piece like this, and I would do this even if the paint dried overnight. A clean, relatively clean t-shirt, not one that you've just changed the oil in your Humvee in or something. Now just by doing this, just by flipping this part the way we hope this will work, I'll clean this off with a tack rag. Gets us ready to shoot the blue. So with that, we have all the blue that we wanted to spray today sitting here ready to dry. That was pretty good. Now, the next step on this, I want to, and I'm going to try to plan this out a little as careful as possible. I need to get the white on that. I need to get the red on this, and I need to get the clear on this. So what I'm going to do while this is drying out here, I'm going to mix up the clear because we have one white part to paint with clear, and then I'll have the clear ready to spray on that part. So I can see I'm making myself crazy here. Not making myself. This stuff does make you crazy. So I had this all confused. This part has no more decals to put on it. This is ready for clear, so I have to take that into account. Now I got to think about how I want to flip these parts so that I can get the most use out of this really nice day. Now the next step, and we laid this out so this would be as easy as possible. Take this off in one shot. Now the whole trick is going to be, and it's going to be a little more difficult than I thought it would be, I've got to be real careful. I've got to back mask off. I back mask off the white and the blue in one shot, and then paint the red. Now I'm going to give it 3 coats of red because that red is a very bright, distinct color. I don't want to compromise that color against the pearl white. Our other 2 parts are drying up just beautifully. Wow. Must be our lucky day. Now the next thing on this is to back mask this and account for the stripe and do the white, and then the last thing we'll have to do is the red. It's a 2-part for that little stripe. So what looks like it'll be the easiest thing to do here, since this is not, I guess I want to paint the white, I'm going to back mask up onto here the thickness of this stripe, and then back mask off the top blue and paint the bottom. And I have, one of the things Mark did with this job, he bought 2 brand new spray guns that we have the white and the pearl white in, so that should just make that just a little bit quicker and easier. Okay, this part's ready now for the white and the pearl white. Now that's going to dry about 10 minutes and we'll put the white pearl on it. We already have the gun already set, so that really saves some time. And while we're waiting for that to dry and get the pearl white on there, I can pull the back masking off of this part. See how we're just flipping from one part to the other, and basically every 20 minutes or half an hour we have another part and the other 2 are out there drying. I hope you'll be able to see the pearl in this. I'm not sure if you can. This is not a good camera for a macro lens. But the pearl in that really makes this just jumps. It's unbelievable how nice it looks. So one of the things that really worked to our advantage in this job, because we still haven't done the gas tank yet, Mark's getting it sandblasted today, I think. So one of the things I think really paid is we got a dedicated gun for that paint. We have 1 gun for the base, 1 for the pearl, and it's really paid off big time in this job. Of course, this job is stretched over about 3 months of time, so how many times we would have had to clean the gun, and then when you're doing white pearl, if there's 1 drop of red in there, you have a pink plane, you have a pink motorcycle. Now after the first coat of clear, I think you can see what that paint, well, I hope you can see it on the, if you're looking at this on a widescreen TV, a high-def TV, you'll see that. Wow, that really looks nice. Super, super, super nice. For all the work we put into these parts, it's really nice to see it come into fruition. Alright, these parts, 3 coats of clear, 20 minutes apart. Oh, that really looks nice. I'm not sure you can see this in real life, but that really does look nice. The pearl white really just pops. The fact that we don't have tape on there, that's real paint that's not going to peel off and chip. A nice upgrade. And of course the wind just starts kicking up right when we don't want it to. If you could only see that white pearl in real life, that white pearl is I know Mark paid a lot of money for this paint. It's absolutely worth it. Oh, that Mark, you're gonna love this, baby. You're gonna love that white pearl. Woo, boy, that looks nice. I just hope the tank, we get that same effect on the tank, that white, really nice white. And we had a lot of issues with this job that we had to resolve, but I think basically the end result's going to speak for itself. Now what's happened with this day, and I monitor the temperature, it's gone way over 90 degrees. It's 97 right now. And I don't want the parts in the bright sun when it's that hot. The paint doesn't respond well, and sometimes you get bubbles or blisters or whatever. So, but what I have found works well, and it's a really good trick. This really works perfectly. Let it sit out in the sun maybe 5 minutes. When you can put your finger in it and not leave a fingerprint, just that when it doesn't turn like there's string coming off the paint, right then give it the next coat and get it into the shade, and the paint just lays down. Wow, does it lay down nice. That's just as good as it gets. Now Karen just yelled out to me that it's sneaking up on 99 degrees here. She's waiting for it to go over 100. So I've kept the parts in the shade. I've got the clear roll on here. I'm going to save the seat for our next session. I don't want to get too cute here. But I will, at the end of the day, that part, and that part will be ready for Mark to pick up. Probably conveniently, when he does that, he can drop off the gas tank, which I think is getting sandblasted today. So I hope you've enjoyed our day, because we have to go get a shower and we have to go get ready for the baby's concert. So thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you're a lot cooler than I am, because it's hot out here.